Good afternoon and welcome to a rather soggy but delightful afternoon here at Latimer Park. It's Kettering Town. The Poppies against Blyth Spartans, the Spartans, and so's my wife. You'll be able to hear this game live here on Poppies TV this afternoon, sponsored by Elgoodsbury. What a fantastic job the ground staff have done once again this week. Appalling weather conditions all week. Anybody would have thought this game was a certainty to be postponed, but they've worked miracles. The drainage has worked well as well, and the game is on. It's going to be a mud bath, but there we have it. It's the game is on, and I'm for one, I'm delighted that it is. As I say, there's sunshine out there, not quite the warmth, but John Dunham, welcome this afternoon, and you too, like me, thought that this game was never going to take on.
Yeah, well, we spoke on Thursday, didn't we? When that dreadful rain was coming down for most of that on Thursday, and I think we just said between ourselves, didn't we? Said this is going to struggle, but I think it's a good example. This game and the Bradford Park Avenue game are really good examples of things paying off for the club a little bit. They've invested a lot. It won't look like it at the end of the game today, but they've invested a lot in the pitch to make it better and make sure they don't have as many postponements. And we've seen two really good examples of it. And you'd like to think that as long as nothing ridiculous happens, then this sort of sets the tone for the rest of the season, where hopefully they won't have many, if at all. Hopefully no games at home called off, because to get it on today after what happened on Thursday and then last night as well, with a bit of rain as well. It's fantastic. So it's a great effort from the club, their investment paying off, great effort from the volunteers, the ground staff, to get it on, and now it's over to the players.
Yeah, the referee also wants to be accredited as well. He wanted the game on. I know that Blyth Spartans fancy coming to Northamptonshire on a Tuesday night. It's a heck of a journey if you've not been to Blyth. It's about a 4 or 5 hour trip, having been the opposite way. And we always joke going to Blyth Spartans on a Tuesday because no one's dream, and I'm sure that irrespective of the condition of the pitch, I'm sure they'll be delighted that the game's going ahead on a Saturday rather than a Tuesday. So well done to all concerned, fantastic job. Let's hope that, as John says, the players can do something similar to the Bradford game a couple of weeks ago. Well, last week was another fantastic performance by the lads at Guiseley, one of Paul Cox's former clubs. A good little setup, fantastic pitch, quite the opposite of what we've been playing on recently. A great setup for the media team, coffee and biscuits for Ed Palmer and myself in the press area. First time this season, much pleasing win after some mindless comments in the programme that was in there, which we don't want to talk about too much, but if ever there was a pitch or team development, those notes in that programme must have been the warm-up that Kettering Town needed.
Yeah, I think we should talk about it a little bit, because it was just embarrassing, to be honest. So, when someone put it on a website somewhere, or social media somewhere, and I saw it and then tweeted it out, and as I was reading it, I was just like, I can't believe what I'm reading here. I mean, it's just complete lack of professionalism, class, everything that we in non-league football should live by. It broke every single rule of that, because managers come and go, we know that. What happens in between in those reigns is, I mean, some of the comments I've seen from people about, Paul Cox ruined our football club and everything like that. He's the manager,
Not the owner,
the only thing the manager can do, realistically, if you've got a good chairman in charge, the only thing the manager can do is lose games. And ultimately, in the long run, it might hurt you, it might not, And so, but for their chairman, the actual chairman of the club, to write that, I'd like to think that he regrets it. He might not, but I thought Paul Cox, when I asked him about it, I understand it. I understand he got a bit of abuse while he was there. I'm sure he was expecting that, and I'm sure he can deal with that. That's one thing. That's probably something that you do expect when you go. What you don't expect is people at the top of the club writing that about you. I think it was in really poor taste, and I thought Paul Cox's reaction was on the contrary to what theirs was. I thought his response was very, very professional, and ultimately, the fact is that they got out of there with 3 points, and that's all that matters.
Well, yes, I was just going to just put my own little spoke in there that after interviewing Paul for Poppies TV last Saturday, we did arrive at some abuse from some of their fans later after the interview, which were quite offensive and incorrect, totally incorrect. And as John said, Paul conducted himself very, very professionally, and the idiots were taken away by security guards, and they left the ground. But still a bit of bitter feeling between certain members of Guiseley. The people that we met were fantastic, I must be honest, and couldn't look after us better. But there were some clowns at every club. But the 2-1 win at Guiseley was the first consecutive win since April. Also, the first away win since FC Rushden in Diamonds, April as well, which is always a nice statistic to bring up. Should we win today, it'll be the first time since February that we have won 3 consecutive games, and the first time 2 at home since March. Joel Carter was the first Whopper to score a brace in the same game since Honus against Stratford in April. That was a 5-1 win. And let's mention Paul White between the sticks. If you've seen the highlights, you'll have seen Paul pull off some brilliant saves, at least through crucial saves. And the rebounds this time didn't go straight to a player, they went away. Has our luck changed, do you think?
I'm a big firm believer that you make your own luck.
Isn't that offensive?
In everything. I think you make your own luck in everything sometimes. But yes, but I think that's come about because they're playing a little bit better. Certainly, looking at the Bradford game, it wasn't there last week. I've seen the highlights, but looking at the Bradford game, you know, if you'd turned round to someone who hadn't been to a game, you know, and seen a game in this division and said that, you know, these are the 2 bottom sides, or, you know, the 2 bottom 2 at this moment in time, they would have come to you after the game and said, "Are you sure?" You know, because Kettering were very good, and they brushed Bradford aside with few problems. But then, you know, the acid test last week was to see if you can go to a team who have been, you know, fair play guys, they've had a great season so far. Right, they're in the playoff places. You know, Kettering went there, hadn't gone away from home all season. Can you go and do it there? And they did. So, you know, like you say, you're going to need your goalkeeper to make a couple of good saves, and Paul White is, I don't think Paul White's done a great deal wrong all season, to be honest, you know, in fairness to him. So, they are going very nicely under Paul Cox. I think, you know, you could call it a honeymoon period, new manager bounce. You know, there's various ways of compete at this level at least. Got them organised, got them motivated, and you know the players. His words to me when we were talking about this game during the week were, he said they're in a nice rhythm, and they are. You know, their tails are up. So he will be delighted, but, and there's always a but, they've got to try and carry it on, because it's 2 great wins. But you look at the league table, and at this moment in time, they are still in trouble. So they've got to keep on going, and then you arrive at a game like today, which, you know, on the face of that league table is huge. You know, it's a relegation zone. But as I'm sure you're about to tell us, the both Spartans are actually in very, very good form themselves. So it's going to be quite interesting.
Well, they are indeed. As also Paul Cox said to me last week off camera, that he's waiting for the time where Kettering now get a bit complacent because they've won 2 games. Are they going to take every game as well as they have done? He said, if not, we'll fall back into sloppy play and bad results. So today is going to be a very tough game. He also said that, and as John said, Blyth Spartans are in a rich vein of form. They didn't play last weekend. The Oxford game was postponed, as our game on the 26th of November is now postponed due to their FA Cup involvement. It's also the same night as a possible replay against Peterborough Sports in the FA Trophy, should that happen. But at Blyth, they've beaten recently Farsley Celtic 2-0 at home, drew 2-2 with Chester at home, beat Curzon Ashton 1-0 away, and AFC Telford 3-1 at home. Their last defeat was against Southport 2-0, and Spenamore thrashed them 5-0 prior to that. But they're on a good little run of form themselves, and let's hope that does not continue the this afternoon. I'll give you the Kettering Town lineup. It reads like this. It's the same lineup as last Saturday. Must be a first for a little while, but I'll go through it with you. Paul White is in goal. Number 2, Gary Storer. 3 and captain is Joe Scars. 4, Luke Graham. 5, Michael McGrath. 6 is Ben Mills. 7, Joel Carter. 8, Aaron O'Connor. 9, Connor Kennedy. 10, Lyndon Meikle. And 11, Marcus Kelly. Number 12, Daniel Enty returns from his suspension. 14, Brett Solkin. 15, Tree Mitford. 16, they recalled Michael Richards, who's back from loan period at Nuneaton Borough. And 17, Mo Seba. The only name that isn't on the squad list once again is Vidal. What's happened to him? We don't know. We'll try and find out for you, but once again, he is not in the squad. Blyth Spartans well, as I say, they're on a run of rich form. They line up like this. Mark Fodden is in goal. 2 is Rhys Evans. 3, Anthony Callahan. 4, Ollie Scott. 5, Lewis Ritson. 6, Tom Devitt. 7, Lewis Hawkins. 8, Jack Hunter. 9, Michael Sweet. 10, Callum Roberts. And number 11, their own version of Brett Solkin, as John said, Robbie Dale is captain. Whenever we play Blyth Spartans, there's always a Dale playing for them, and we haven't played them since 2008. Their subs are 12, Ryan Hutchinson. 14, Damon Mullen. 15, Levi Amanchi. 16, Dylan McGlade. And 17, Corey McEwen. Match referee is Richard Holmes, and he's assisted by Daniel Smith and Lewis Martin. So those are your lineups. We'll give you those again before we go on air around 5 to 3. There will be a minute's silence today for the Remembrance Sunday. It's the nearest that we can get to it, so we're going to do our minute's silence today for all those that fell in the Great Wars and in peacetime too, allegedly, who have also fallen. So we'll give them the remembrance 1 minute silence before the game. What's on in the clubhouse, I hear you asking me? Well, tonight there's a 1980s disco, yes. Mullets are all be given out at the door. Mullets, are you going to wear any mullet?
I'm going to go home and have a cup of coffee, I think.
Cup of coffee from John. I think I might do the same, but there is a disco tonight in the clubhouse. It's free entry. 1980s, so if you can remember that or you were involved in the 1980s, come down and do some Duran Duran dancing, Heaven 17 and Depeche Mode, all the rest of that sort of crew from round then. It's a free entry, 8 o'clock start till late. And then on Friday the 20th of December, it's a Christmas party, again free entry. Not too many details about that at the moment, but I'm sure we'll bring you some more details of that. And then on Thursday, Boxing Day night. Well, this will be a cracker. If the bracket game goes ahead due to the weather, we're never really quite sure. But after the bracket game, we've got a night with Dr. Busker. Well, if you've not seen Dr. Busker, and I'm sure there's not many people that haven't, you'll know what a great night it is with him and his bunch of idiots, as he calls them. And they are fantastic. And I think on a Boxing Day night, after a football match, I think the night will be rocking with Busker.
Yeah, I think he's a good draw. He is. I think that'll be a very fun evening.
I think it will be a very fun evening indeed. And again, that is free entry, so no excuses there. And then there's a New Year's Eve party on New Year's Eve, believe it or not. And tickets for that are £5 that can be purchased behind the bar in the clubhouse. See Gary Graham if not. And if you are at a loose end on this Monday night, I will be appearing as a guest of Simon Cox from 5 o'clock till 6 on Kettering's new community radio station, Shire Sounds. Yes, Shire Sounds. We'll be talking about Kettering Town and some of my musical tastes. So if you want to, yes, John, some of my musical tastes, it ranges.
Did they make CDs back then?
Thank you so much. Yes. So I'm on Monday with Simon Cox. And if you want to tune in, listen to hear what I've got to say about Kettering Town and some of my musical interests live on Shire Sounds, www.shiresoundsradio.co.uk. You can tune in free and listen to me rambling on. And I must just mention today's match sponsors. It's the Stirrup Cup, and Mark Hinesworth. Good old Mark, yeah, he's sponsoring today's game. I do know that a busload of Blyth fans from Canuck, by all accounts, have gone to the pub prior to today's game. So I'm sure that he'll be delighted to have them in here. And of course, going back to today's game, it is head-to-head, let's say. We've only met them twice before, John. Do you remember the games?
I remember going up to Blyth to cover a game where Kettering could have won the title, I think, the Conference North title, and they got turned over 2-0 maybe, I think.
I'm going to put in one of the most useless statistics now of all time. That Guy Branston actually scored a header in that game, which was disallowed. He scored twice for Kettering. One against Woking, a header was disallowed. The only player to have scored 2 goals for Kettering had them both disallowed.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah, I remember going up there, and then they won the title. I think they won the week. They won it the week after, didn't they? Against Telford. Yeah, that was under Mark Cooper. Yeah. I think I might have been there before as well. Do you know? Genuinely can't remember that. That
was the 2-2 last.
I think I've been there both times. Equalised. Yes, I do. Yes, in which case I've probably seen all 4 games that they've played against them back in the old good old Conference North days. Way back when now. So, but yeah, it's. I mean, going up to Blyth is, I think every team will tell you that it's always.
But you get to Newcastle and think, I've made it.
Yeah, that's right. And it's about another 40 minutes on top of that. And it's a long old way, and it's very tough. I think it's always a very tough ground to play at. It's quite hostile, quite hostile supporters. And yeah, so not easy. They've, like we've said, they really struggled at the start of the season, just like Kettering did. But it looks like, just looking at their results, it looks like Spennymoor, when they got beaten 5-0, and then Southport 2-0, were like possibly light bulb moments of some sort. I don't know whether they had a change in personnel after that, but since then they've won some really big games, because I think Telford are one of those sides who are probably just being drawn into things a little bit. Curzon Ashton are down there, but then to go and get a point against Chester, who are flying, and Farsley Celtic, who have been going, and beat Farsley Celtic, who have been going well. Yeah, they're Kettering underestimate these lot. Yeah, their peril today. So I think that like Paul Cox was saying to you, and he said it to me as well when I spoke to him on the phone, that he, it's not about waiting for a defeat or anything like that, but I think it's just waiting. He's still analysing this squad and still looking at what he thinks might need adding to it and everything like that. And
I think the crux of the matter,
he's still looking for chinks. He's still looking for chinks in the armour, rather than the good things are happening, which is great. And he will be happy about that, no doubt. But like he keeps saying to me, he said there has to be a reason why they were down the bottom of the league, and you can't put it all down to the previous manager. There has to be another reason, and I think he's yet to see it. So,
the crux of the matter is going to be, isn't it, is when Kettering do lose the game, and they will do. Yeah, there's no doubt about that, and hopefully not today, of course. But and the manner
in which they lose it,
exactly,
maybe,
and how they respond when they're losing, and the mistakes that are made if they make any mistakes.
I think that's what he's waiting to. I think that's what he's waiting to see. I'm sure he doesn't want a defeat to come, but I think we all know that you always learn a bit more in defeat, or when things are against you, rather than when things are going for you. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, but the fact is that strip all of that away, it's just a big game today, because they're two sides who are both down there. They're
in 21st position. They're just 2 points behind Kettering, so they played one game more, I think, now than the Poppies. So it's going to be an interesting one. As we say, they all are when you're at the bottom of the league, and let's hope Kettering can maintain this winning streak under Paul Cox. I'm sure that he will want that, as will the fans and the players, and I'm sure that Blyth will do everything they can to stop that and impress on their unbeaten 4-game run as well. Well, we've got some fixtures coming up on Tuesday. Wellingborough Town in the North Celia Senior Cup. That's a quarter final. That's at the Dog and Duck. On the 23rd, next Saturday, it's Peterborough Sports away in the Builder-Base FA Trophy third qualifying round. And Tuesday the 26th, as I said earlier, was designated for Altrincham in the league, but that's been called off, and it will be an FA Trophy replay should it be needed. Let's hope not. But the Tuesday game against Altrincham has been cancelled, and then we travel to Gloucester. Well, not actually Gloucester, we're playing Gloucester City, but we're playing at Evesham United on Saturday the 30th of November. So just to reiterate there, the Altrincham game on the 26th has now been cancelled, and it will be an FA Trophy replay should it be needed against Peterborough Sports. Let's hope it's not going to be needed. But going back to Peterborough Sports, John, they've just signed an interesting player, 138 years old, I think it is, 4 chins and stomachs, but Lulu signed for them.
Loire, yeah. I mean, it was it made a lot of headlines actually in over that way, which is, you know, because he obviously played for Portsmouth and Newcastle in the top flight and scored a few goals and was obviously famous for his acrobatic celebrations, and yeah, apparently he's moved to the Peterborough area and been training with them and now signed for them. So look, that's going to be a really difficult game. It's quite an interesting game, I think, because Peterborough Sports are one of these clubs who have just come out of the Peterborough and District League, and then shot through the United Counties League, and then they won the Southern League Division 1 Central last season, and I saw them at Steel Park playing Corby, who were up there with them at the time, and it was, you know, a big top of the table clash, and Peterborough Sports turned Corby right over that day, and
big shame, wasn't it?
Yeah, big strong powerful team. Who have beaten Guiseley from Kettering's League in the FA Cup already this season at home.
Rugby Town in the FA Trophy as well.
So they will be fired up.
And a lot of ex-captain players there, isn't there? We've got Josh
Malone.
Moorman, Paul Maloney's there, Stuart Worley played a couple against Kettering.
Avelino Vieira.
Yeah, he played once, didn't he? Then you got Ben Toseland, of course, he's there.
Absolutely.
Spencer Weir-Daly still with them. I'm not sure if he's playing, but
they will be. They are a team that will be extremely fired up for that next week. So
have you been to Peterborough Sports?
I haven't been there. No, it's. I think it's a very modest ground. You know, they're a new. I don't think they're a new club, but they're a club who have just risen through the leagues, just
as you said,
from out of nowhere, pretty much. And it's you know, it's a nice story to see. So yeah. It's an interesting tie for Kettering now. Very tricky one. Very tricky tie.
And then the first game against Gloucester City since the 1950s, being played at Evesham. Gloucester, of course, moved into this division from the southern section, which is surprising, isn't it? They seem to be the yo-yo club between the north and the south, don't they? Yeah, it's
I mean, they must be frustrated, I would think. But again, I think if you look at their record, I think they were one of the teams that people probably looked at the start of the season and thought, yeah, they might struggle a little bit, and I think they're doing all right. You know,
they are doing all right, mid-table, aren't they?
Yeah, they're doing fine. So yeah, another tough game. But I think the one thing they discovered about this league already this season is that there isn't really any easy games at all. You know, every team presents its own challenge. Every team in general has got a real threat about them. So. Yeah, Kettering have just got to try and, you know, Paul Cox again, you know, he says the right things, doesn't he, Coxie? I'm still trying to catch him out, but I think he's a bit too wily and long in the tooth for that. But he, you know, with the 2 wins, you know, which is great because it just gets everyone's morale up, it gets the players' morale up, it gets the fans' morale up, you know, it gets the fans right behind the new manager, which is what he wanted. But now he's after a bit of consistency and trying to put a decent run together. And that doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be winning every game, but it's just making sure you don't get beat. You know, so you know, I think there'll be a lot of emphasis on that in the coming weeks, especially as they head towards Christmas. Once they enter December, they've got some really seriously tough games coming up. You know, against the
Blackers and Boston,
York, and then twice against Brackley over Christmas, who are going to be pushing for the playoffs. Boston playing in the FA Cup. So yeah, there's some real challenges ahead for them, but yeah, you know, every manager will tell you, take it each game as it comes, and that's what they've got to do for the time being, because what they need to try and do is just force their way out of trouble as best they can at the moment. I
suppose also that Paul Cox also has at least got an interpreter with him in John Ramshaw, so that
he's from up that
he'll
way,
be able to ascertain what the Blyth Spartans management and players are saying, because he is from the same part of the country. But good having John Ramshaw back. Had a chat with him. If you've not seen the interview with him and Paul Cox from last week at Guiseley, please go on to the Poppies TV website. I see the teams are in the tunnel, so I'm going to have to leap out from here, so there'll be a pregnant silence for a few moments while I clamber up the gantry, and then it will be myself, and eventually it will be Gary Foreman. So Peter Short will start us off. I'll go and join Peter Short. So at the moment it's Kettering Town against Blyth Spartans, live here on Poppies TV.
Good afternoon all, welcome to Latimer Park. Yes, it's the dulcet tones of Peter Short to begin with, I'm afraid. Do not turn your sets off. I know you're waiting for Cookie and Ed and Gary, they'll be here soon enough. Oh no, Gary's here already, there we go. That didn't last long, did it?
Timing is everything.
Oh, they didn't last at all, did it? Anyway, welcome, as I say, all to Latimer Park. And, well, there is a lot to talk about. First of all, fantastic effort from all the volunteers and fans that came out around about 9-10 a.m. this morning to get this game on. Fantastic as the teams come out. Blyth and Kettering, Blyth in their classic green and white, Kettering in black and red. We'll get back to that in a minute. Just praising the fans as we speak though at the moment. Fantastic just getting this game on. You'll see in the pictures shortly that there's a few patches which are not conducive to great football really.
No, I was one of the forkers this morning, and yes, I can confirm there are some very wet patches still out there, and it's going to make some interesting play on it, to be honest. But as you say, fantastic job for the fans out this morning, because yes, the pitch has done remarkably well to drain as well as it has done. We've hopefully given it the extra shot it needed. It's going to be very muddy in places today, but game on.
Game on indeed, and well, we'll just see which team's going to come out the browner, I think, really. It's going to be the Daz Challenge come 5-5 tonight. But no, this isn't a relegation basement 6-pointer, though, is it really? Both teams don't really deserve to be where they are on the table.
Well, not the form table. They don't. No, they're both doing very well. They're picking up points now after poor starts to the season. But yeah, it's still another 6-pointer, and it is a very key game for the Puppies this afternoon with playing their nearest rivals.
I asked John Ramshaw pre-match, it's not really about the performance still, it's still about purely 3 points, isn't it?
It is. It is about the points, but I think we can safely say after 2 games of Paul Cox's reign, there has been an attitude adjustment, which is pleasing to see. And we just need to carry it on today, because as Paul's warned in his programme notes, just because we've won a couple of games doesn't mean that you don't have to put the same amount of effort in, and that's what he's going to be looking at today.
Exactly. I'm not going to share the bet that I've made with John Dunham about where Kettering will finish later on this season. Let's just say money will be changing hands, probably not my direction. But anyway, there is going to be a minute silence, of course. We're still in the period of remembrance, and this is probably a very good time during that moment to hand over to Paul Cook, who will be part of your commentary team this afternoon.
Thank you, Shorty, and we're about to take this minute silence. Impeccably observed there by both sets of fans. The fans from Blyth have travelled down as well. And it is... hello, Gary. How are you?
Oh, very well, Paul. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Just go through Kettering Town's team for you one more time. It's going to be Blyth to kick off in a moment. They're going to be kicking from right to left. Goal for Kettering is Paul White, Gary Storer, Joe Scars, Luke Graham, Michael McGrath, Ben Mills, Joel Carter, Aaron O'Connor, Connor Kennedy, Lyndon Meikle and Marcus Kelly. The referee looking at his watch. When I last came out of the studio, it was bright sunshine and blue skies. And now it's grey skies and a little bit of light drizzle. So we don't really want that, but nothing we can do about the weather. Still waiting for the referee to kick off, and we are off. It's back with Tom Devitt. Long ball. Storer hoofs the ball away, and it comes off a Blyth player for a Kettering throw-in, right in front of where Paul Cox is already out there gesticulating some movement. It's Storer with the throw-in towards Carter. It's the same lineup as last week's 2-0 win at Guiseley. And it's now a chase for McGrath and the number 5 Ritson. So number 9 actually, Michael Sweet. Numbers hard to see on the green and white stripes and black numbers. Not easy at distance.
It is. I've just noticed one thing though, Paul. Number 11, rather tall, captain for Blyth this afternoon. That's Robbie Dale.
About 180, isn't he?
Well, the midfield compatriot, number 4, however, he looks about 12 years old.
I'm going to say last time we played Blyth, Dale played for them, and just been given a replacement pen from for last week. So thank you, whoever that was. As the goalkeeper Fodden plays a poor ball to Lyndon Meikle. Meikle has to take his time as Kelly comes back from being offside. Storer is played out wide. He puts it through for Aaron O'Connor, who misses it. And the goalkeeper playing in a rather orangey, reddy, clarity top. And he delivers the ball. Luke Graham puts the ball under pitch too. And there's quite a few Blyth Spartan fans in the tin hat, Gary.
Well supported. They brought a supporters coach and a minibus this afternoon, and it's a long, long way down from the northeast. So well played, Blyth Spartan fans.
Are you a Spartan? So's your wife. And it's a good work there. Ball comes in. Player goes down, slips. There's the number 10, Roberts. Turns one way, turns it. Comes in off Kelly for a corner on the far side. So Blyth making an impressive start in the mud-drenched area of the tin hat. It's much more muddier down that end than it is down the Morrison's end. It's going to be a corner on the far side as the Green Army shout is booming out from the tin hat end. Roberts with this corner. They're a big team. Blyth, that comes in low though and goes straight into the side netting. It's a bit of a waste, really, but
Well,
I like to see them there.
It was a waste, but two sides of lining up. It looks a fairly traditional sort of 4-4-2 for Blyth. The giant Robbie Dale on the left-hand side sort of dropping into midfield, leaving the one up front now. But it's going to be an interesting game of football this afternoon, not just for the conditions, but where both teams are in the league.
Well, Blyth are on a 4-game unbeaten run. They didn't play last week against Altrincham. They're always a difficult side. I think the position they're in is false. And today I think it's going to be a harder game than the last 2 games that Kettering have played against Bradford and Guiseley. But it's Roberts who lifts the ball off his foot, and that goes out for a Kettering throw-in on the far side. The lights are on here at Latter Park. It's 0-0. You'll listen to Poppy's TV audio with myself, Paul Cook, and Gary Foreman, sponsored by Elgood's Brewery. And I must just say thanks to John Dunham, who once again stepped into the breach prior to the game. As again, it's Dale now feeds the ball to the number 3, Callahan. He's on this left-hand side. He's taking 2 Kettering players on. Goes down by the byline, gets the ball over. It comes in. There's the back post, and that just goes over the bar. It's almost a free header, and first real attempt by Blyth.
Sweet. Yep.
It's
Michael
Michael
Sweet,
Sweet, the number 9, and just goes over the bar.
Made the quicker start though, Paul. Blyth. We haven't seen any action of note in the other half so far.
Yep, Paul Cox said that he hopes that Kettering don't get complacent after 2 wins, and this is going to be a real challenge as a tough northern side. As McGrath pumps the ball forward towards O'Connor. It's headed out, but Carter gets there. He pumps the ball through. Offside flag goes up as Ritson and O'Connor went for the ball. O'Connor looks at the lines. I don't believe it, he said, but we do. And
Aaron O'Connor offside. Remarkable.
Yes, not often we say that, is it? But it's Mark Fodden. Long free kick. Headed back by McGrath, but only towards Callahan. He wins the header, but it skids off him to O'Connor. O'Connor to Meikle. Meikle fed the ball through. Carter offside. He thought about it and then decided to try his luck, but wrong decision.
That was an obvious one.
Yep. Devitt with the free kick. Being told to put it there. O'Connor always very keen where free kicks are taken from, isn't he? And so Devitt with this free kick on the right-hand side, near to our commentary position. It's Getting rather cool here now at Latimer Park. It's a long ball towards Sweet. Graham allows it to go by him, and that runs out for a goal kick. Didn't really believe how tall Dale was, Robbie Dale.
He's a giant. We saw him while warming up earlier in the game, and I thought, well, he's got to be the tallest man on the pitch, and he is indeed the tallest man on the pitch.
Paul
We've
White
also got the smallest man on the pitch, as I say, the number 4, aforementioned, Ollie Scott for
looks
Blyth.
like he stood in hole, didn't he? Carter couldn't win that one, nor could Mills. McGrath pumps one forward. It's a chase now for Lyndon Meikle. Lyndon Meikle is out wide of the penalty area. He's being chased by Callaghan. Callaghan wins the ball. It should be a corner if it goes, and it is. Callaghan thought it was going to be a goal kick. It wasn't. And Kettering get their first corner of the afternoon. Marcus Kelly going over on our right-hand side, down by the Morrison's end, in front of the Kettering fans, who are quite lively this afternoon. So Kelly need to be a good delivery. In it comes near post. Fodden comes out easily, collects it and bowls the ball out. Good work there from Fodden. It hits Roberts. Roberts is away. He's outside the penalty area of Kettering. He comes inside. Might try a shot. This will be a fantastic. Goes in. It comes off Gary Storer for a corner. He must have gone 70 yards though. Roberts, and the final shot coming off Storer, going for a corner. Had that been on target, away from Storer, who knows where that could have gone.
Yeah, lovely run from
would have been a wonderful goal,
Roberts
wouldn't it?
on the break, and skipped past a couple of challenges. Fortunately for Kettering, we got a decent challenge in and conceded the corner though.
Well, it is a corner. It's going to be taken by Roberts on this left-hand side, down by a couple of puddles down there. And again, well done to the ground staff. In it comes now. Paul White's out there. He punches the ball out, misses it. It's a goal. No, it comes out. I thought it had gone in, but there was a mad scramble and it was cleared by a Kettering defender. It's gone back to Callaghan. He feeds the ball back to Evans. Evans puts the ball forward, but there is Kelly. And it's cleared by McGrath into orbit, and it'll be a throw-in. Blyth certainly come with the intention to try and get an early goal, and I thought that one Gary had gone in.
Yeah, we dodged a bullet there, Paul, as you say. Paul White under pressure on the corner, tried to get a punch in, missed the punch completely, and very fortunate to be able to scramble that away.
Throw-in been taken, and the Blyth player goes down. It's been awarded a free kick. I thought he slipped and then handled the ball, but the referee sees it another way. It's a free kick. Roberts seems to be the playmaker with the dead balls. He's over there. It's adjacent to the angle of the penalty area on the far side. Carter's a one-man wall, now joined by the referee. Oh no, the referee's trotted off, but Carter is just about 10 yards. He's creeping forward, but it's Roberts with this free kick. It comes in low, headed out by Kelly, and that finds O'Connor. Is anyone up front? O'Connor can't keep the ball in though, and it is a throw-in, much to the displeasure of the Kettering fans over there that said the ball wasn't out. You couldn't tell from here, but the linesman said it was, so it is a throw-in to the Spartans. Quickly taken, and Hawkins couldn't control it. Carter's got the ball back, plays it square to Milnes. Milnes has to play the ball back to Paul White. Paul White traps it on the penalty spot and then delivers it rather rushed delivery towards Dale. He heads it to Carter. Carter can't get there. He can get there. Still wins the header. Gets it to O'Connor. O'Connor flicks through to Mills. And Devitt is fouled by Mills. Foot up and goes down as if it had been hit with a sledgehammer. Will he get up from this? He looks like he's dead to me.
Well, he got called by Ben Mills. Ben Mills put his hands up straight away.
Well, the antics that are going on, I thought have been shot.
Well, yes, but it's not the kind of pitch where you're going to be rolling around.
It's not, is it? No, but
so I think he is genuinely hurt. I'll give him that much.
Well, you can never tell these days, can you, with players?
No, you can't.
It looked like an innocuous sort of foot up to me, but then I am a little biased, of course, if you're listening from Blyth. Sorry about that.
Known.
But if you are listening from Blyth, welcome to a rather grey Latimer Park. It was nice and sunny around 3 o'clock, around 2 o'clock. And when your fans got here, it was delightful out here. But it's gone back to the weather forecast, which does say rain a little later. Let's hope there's not too much. And let's hope the game continues. The player is still down. Fluids are being taken by the Blyth team. A long journey from the northeast, having been there myself many moons ago. I think it was 2008, the championship season for Kettering. He's still down. I can't see who it is, to be honest. But you're not missing much if you are listening in. There is a game on Tuesday at Wellingborough Town in the Northants Senior Cup, and then next Saturday, a week today, against Peterborough Sports in the FA Trophy. The scheduled game against Altrincham on the 26th, the Tuesday, has been cancelled, and due to Altringham's involvement in the FA Cup, they've been given special dispensation by the league to cancel the fixture. It's the number 6 that is injured, and that's Tom Devitt, who does look a bit shaken. It must be more than we saw. He's hobbling around at the moment. I thought it was a head injury, but he's stumbling around, and the sports therapist is looking towards the bench, and this doesn't look particularly good for Blyth. He's up, and he can't hardly stand on his foot, and he's actually being helped off. So it wasn't a head injury. He must have fell awkwardly in the slush, and he's coming off.
Looks like his left knee, I think, which is the problem area, but there's no way he's carrying on.
No, so an enforced substitution for the visitors this afternoon, as Devitt, who just looking a bit of pain, to be fair to him, and is being helped off. He's grimacing as he comes off, getting a warm round of applause from the travelling fans, and there's a very good away following, probably one of the best that we've had actually on a Saturday, all the way from Blyth. That's tremendous.
Yeah, you have to admire the following, as you say. I think Boston probably brought more, but they're a lot closer than Blyth.
Well, Ryan Hutchinson is replacing Devitt, and an enforced change. It will be a free kick when we get underway, centre of the park in Blyth's half, and Hutchinson comes on. Fodden thinking about taking it. He is going to take the free kick, and we're still waiting for this to go underway. I shall be using the heated gloves soon that I have, Gary, worn last week. Comes off Dale, goes for a Kettering throw-in. It will be Storer.
I think anything, when you're standing on this gantry in the winter, anything that you can utilise to keep yourself warm is fair game.
Well, I tested them out at Gauzy last week, and a remarkable bit of invention from whoever for these heated gloves that fit into a USB port, and it is now pushed there on Milnes, but Ollie Scott, the dwarf, gets to the ball. And I say that with his sincerity, not his stature. As O'Connor tries to get there, it's put out by Hutchinson, who's just come on for his first touch for a throw-in. It's going to be Storer trying to get some of the mud off the ball. There's a lot of that around today. Storer towards Carter. Carter flicks it on for Meikle to chase, but Callaghan and Hutchinson between them put the ball onto pitch 2, and that's bouncing away. It's going to be a long throw-in from Connor Kennedy, as it always seems to be in these positions. He's wiping the mud off too. So Connor Kennedy on our right-hand side, 3/4 into the Blyth half, will throw one into the penalty area. Then who knows what will happen. Kennedy still about to deliver it. In it comes, high towards Luke Graham, headed out towards Meikle. Meikle puts one in. There's a bit of a melee and virtually cleared. Meikle gets there towards Storer, chests it down. Storer puts the ball over towards Carter. There's the number 2, Evans, who gets the ball. Carter might allow this to go for a corner. He does, and is. Corner to the Poppies on the other side. Ben Milnes going over to take this one. Let's hope that he can get a good delivery in. Kettering with applying a little bit of pressure on Blyth the first time this afternoon. Up go the arms from Milnes. In it comes near post and goes straight behind the goal. A poor corner indeed. And not what we want to see.
No, that was disappointing from Ben Milnes. We know he's got better quality than that. So he'll be disappointed in himself. He'll give chance for Mark Foden in his burnt orange kit to kick the ball away into the Poppies half, cleared by McGrath, back in by the substitute Hutchinson, picked up though in the left back position by Scars. Long ball forward, but a only finds Blyth Spartans player, and it's Roberts again on a run on the far right-hand side, but he runs out of room. Takes it into touch for a Kettering throw-in that Scars is quickly taking, looking for Carter. Carter beaten in the air, and it's Blyth back in possession. Sweet lays it back to the midfield area, but only as far as Scars, who puts the ball out over the Kettering Town Football Club stand on the far side. Paul's still busy rigging himself up with his battery-powered gloves. This is a sight to behold for you modern technology people. Strapping the battery pack inside his jacket, and I think he's ready to go. Now he needs a microphone. And Blyth get the shot away from the edge of the area, just wide of Paul White's goal. That was Roberts, the danger man, on his left foot. And I have to
the
say,
gloves are on now and all wired up.
Yeah, your father got ready, but I have to say, Paul, I'm more impressed compared to your gloves at the moment with Blyth Spartans. They've certainly taken the game to Kettering this afternoon.
Just saw that shot come in, and it looked like the ball was in the net to me, but it's behind the goal, thankfully for Poppy's fans, as Paul White takes this. They've certainly started the better of the two teams as it's headed back to Luke Graham. He pumps it forward to Mills, but he gives it away to Dale. Dale takes a touch. Still Dale finding a bit of space here. He's been challenged by Kennedy, and Kennedy wins the battle between the tall frame of Robbie Dale. It will be a throw-in. It's going to be Callahan to take this. He's not got a lot on for him at the moment. Dale's movement's quite good. He doesn't use Dale, and Sweet puts the ball out there. In fact, Lewis Hawkins put the ball out, and it rests by a nice puddle. That will clean the ball up a little bit. So Gary Storer, that's John Ramshaw, not Blyth Spartans. He's the official interpreter today for us as he comes there. It's a foul throw, I think. And
no, I think he gave it against Linda
it's
Meikle.
A free kick, isn't it? Yeah, it's Meikle surprised, but it's going to be Callahan again. He's seen a lot of the ball Callahan in this first half so far. Callahan still addressing the ball. There's a lot of movement going on. He stops again. He's going to now take it left-footed. It comes in high towards the back post. Paul White comes out. Paul White punches. Not a convincing punch. Ollie Scott gets there, and it's back with Ritson on the far side. And good movement there. Hunter puts the ball in. It comes off Kelly, and that goes for another corner to Blyth Spartan, who's certainly impressed in the early doors here at Latimer Park. A quick corner, a short corner taken. Blyth on the attack, and that goes out for a goal kick. He overran the ball in the mud and went out for a goal kick harmlessly.
Yeah, John Ramshaw clearly saying what I was just about to say there. Liven up. The ante, step it up.
He did. Paul Cox did say last week he hopes that Kettering don't get complacent after two good performances, and maybe that is ringing in his ears as Carter misses the ball but reclaims it, tackled. Storer pumps the ball forward for Meikle to change. That will go out, and it will be a throw-in. Hutchinson allows that to go out. Callahan is going to take it. It's midway in the Blyth half, or just under midway. It's going to be Callahan to take this throw-in. The pitch cutting up, as you can imagine, quite severely. It looked a bit like the Somme, I think, in towards the end of the game, as we did have that minute's remembrance. Ollie Scott there did very well, pumps the ball forward. It's going to be a chase for Michael Sweet, but McGrath collects the ball, comes away for the Poppies, puts a long ball for Kelly to chase. He'll do well to get that. Evans will see that one out, and he has, and that's a goal kick. 19 minutes gone here at Latimer Park. It's Kettering Town 0, Blyth Spartans 0. And I must say that Blyth have had the better of the first 90 minutes so far.
Good attacking attempt, and they've looked a little bit sharper to the ball, and probably in some respects the latter is causing more concern to the Kettering bench. As I say, you need to increase the pace. Now Connor trying to put the ball forward, but that's going to run out of play on the far side as well. Paul's gloves, are they stopped working already, Paul?
No, they're getting rather hot. So.
Oh, they're getting too hot.
Getting too hot.
Have you got like a volume control, a heat control?
Heat control, yes. I don't want to set fire to my coat. So,
So it goes from mildly warm to nuclear, does it? And you're in nuclear at the moment.
I've just become unplugged. So
If you start smoking, don't worry. I'll,
well, there
throw
we
some
go.
water over you.
Thank you. That'll be nice. But Foden with the goal kick towards Kennedy. He wins the header towards Carter. Carter back flicks it. Stone puts the ball out, and that will be a Kettering Town throw-in right in front of Mike Capps, who's here today taking photographs of the game for the non-league paper. It is Gary Storer with the throw-in, gets it to Kennedy. Kennedy to Storer. Storer goes down this right-hand side, puts the ball through towards O'Connor. Flag goes up.
Offside.
It's the O'Connor flag. We had that at Guysey last week, the O'Connor flag. And it's a return to Latimer Park. And the referee wants the ball taken from the correct position. And Paul Cox issuing a few words there. 0-0 here still, and no team really having a definite chance. I would say that Blyth, as I said earlier, have probably been better of the two teams, but no chances for either side of sort. And it's back with Storer. He flicks it through to Connor Kennedy. He finds Carter. Carter hooks the ball through. It's a chase here for O'Connor between him and Hutchinson. It's going to be O'Connor who wins this one. It's down by the corner flag. He's got nobody with him though, O'Connor. Still O'Connor flicks it through to Storer. Storer puts the ball in low, poor delivery, and it arrives back at Kennedy. He puts it out wide to Storer, who's remained in the upward position. Storer towards O'Connor. He can't control it, and the ball is with Mark Foden, who came out of his 6-yard box rather quickly, and he bowls the ball out towards Ritson on the far side. Getting a bit brighter here now over Latimer Park. Ball with Dale, who's advanced into the Kettering half. He's got Storer underneath him, or around him, should I say. It's still Dale. Dale, and Storer goes down. Dale and Storer having a bit of a melee, but well done by Storer. Clears it towards O'Connor. He gets there first, and it should be a Kettering Town throw-in, and the referee's giving it to Blyth.
Shows what we know.
Well, shows what I know. But Callahan, he finds Sweet, back to Callahan to turn. Sweet still with the ball. Beats one, beats two. Connor Kennedy comes in between though, and he clears it. It comes off Sweet though in the attempted clearance, and that should be a Kettering throw. Tough game this. We thought it would be. Blyth just below Kettering, but on a 4-game unbeaten run. Kettering has been won the last 2 games, and would dearly like to win this to make it 3 in a row and put some space between Blyth and Bradford, who are at the basement at the moment. Storer with the throw-in towards Meikle. Meikle turns very tight, and Carter plays the ball off Callahan, and that's 3rd down, 5 yards for Kettering, the Poppies, as Storer again takes the throw-in. It's towards Carter. Little flick there from Meikle. Dale wins it though. It's a good ball, and away comes Jack Hunter. Plays it out square to Roberts on the far side. If Roberts can keep it, it's gone onto the boggy area, so it should stay in. He places it back to Evans. Long ball through. McGrath collects it. Still McGrath. He's a long ball. It comes off McGrath, and that's a Blyth throw-in again to the ironic cheers there from the Kettering fans who don't believe it. But the throw-in on the far side. Still hasn't taken it. Has now. And it is Ollie Scott. Plays a square ball to Dale. He plays it back to Scott. Back to Dale. Dale in the centre of the park. Too long to shoot, or too far out to shoot. Still with the ball. Been pressurised by Meikle. Turns. Gets the ball to Scott. Scott plays it out wide. It's a poor ball by Scott, giving Callahan no chance, and it is a throw-in to the men in red and black. Both teams in stripes. If you were in black and white TV, which we're not, difficult to actually tell one from the other, I would have thought.
Yep, you would.
Graham plays it out wide to Storer. Storer under pressure, missed kicks, and that is a Blyth throw into the cheers of the Spartan fans behind the goal. It's going to be Callahan to take this throw in. Not much movement, but there's Sweet back to Callahan. He goes outside of Meikle, bit of space there. Poor ball though. Meikle gets it to Storer. He clears it, and O'Connor and Hutchinson get the ball. Hutchinson keeps it in. Carter does well, but he's well beaten by Ollie Scott. He puts the ball wide. Cleared by Scars towards Kelly. Can't get there. Evans can. He sends out Roberts on the far side. Roberts now coming inside the penalty area. Roberts going to try a shot. Comes in. Goal. 1-0. Great goal by Roberts. Beats Paul White at the near post. And the Spartans go ahead. 1-0.
Well, we said it this afternoon that the danger man for Blyth has very much been Callum Roberts, and he's just proven it again. It's poor defending from Kettering now. I mean, he's all left foot. He's got a very good left foot. He finished on his left foot, and yet he was able to cut in quite too easily for my liking on that far side. Joe Scars allowing onto his left foot, and Kettering have paid the penalty.
They have, and it beat Paul White at the near post, who was furious with the goal as well. So Paul Cox wanted to see what happens when Kettering are behind. He now has the chance to observe a different scenario since he's been here. Kettering get the game underway, and a poor ball there by Scars, and that goes out for throw-in as Callahan retrieves the ball on the right-hand side. So disappointing for the Kettering fans that have turned out this afternoon. As Storer gets the ball to Ben Mills, he squares it towards Kelly. He's beaten to it, and that will be a Blyth throw-in. Blyth haven't beaten Kettering in a home fixture. Mind you, there has only been 2 of those, so and there's plenty of time to go for that to change. But it's a different setup today as Kelly trying to find Ben Milnes, headed by Ritson, but he's found Meikle. Meikle pumps the ball forward towards O'Connor, and Hutchinson has to play the ball out. That's better from Kettering. Milnes with the ball. He leaves it for Connor Kennedy, which means it will be a long ball into the penalty area. We could do it now with some touches and a melee in there. Anything can happen, but it is Connor Kennedy who's somehow found a towel, but he delivers the ball in. It comes in long near post, headed on there. O'Connor can't get there. Carter has an overhead kick, and that goes high and wide. It's a bit high for O'Connor to chest down. He couldn't control it. The ball found its way to Carter, who had the overhead kick, and that just went over.
First glimpse for the Poppies in the opposing penalty box, and just thought if the ball had been 6 inches lower on a couple of occasions, we would have had a decent chance to get the equaliser. But Carter in the end forced to try something spectacular. Didn't pay off on that occasion.
Hodden gets it underway. It's Connor Kennedy trying to find O'Connor. He can't. Kennedy gets there again, but there's Sweet. Humped in by McGrath for O'Connor to chase. O'Connor this time might get a chance. No, it's going to be Ritson that gets there first. He plays it out wide, and between them both, it's going to be a Kettering Town throw-in. Kelly goes quickly to take it, but movement wasn't quick enough. He gets the ball to Scars, back to Kelly, back to Scars. Scars plays it back to Connor Kennedy. He plays it out wide now to Scars. Can he get the ball in? He can't, as Evans closes him down and puts it for a throw-in down by the corner flag on the far side by the turnstile. Scars with the throw-in. It's going to leave it for Connor Kennedy, who's going to do another long throw, this time on the far side with a towel on that side. There's a towel on both sides now, so not sure if that's allowed, but it is. It's going to be Kennedy then with the long throw, and it comes in, it's flicked on, it goes anywhere, and cleared by Spartans, but only towards Gary Storer, who heads the ball back towards Connor Kennedy, who is onside, being challenged by Evans. Kennedy with it, still Kennedy. Evans snapping away at him, still Kennedy. Has to play the ball, still Kennedy. Plays the ball eventually to Meikle. Meikle pumps the ball in, back post towards O'Connor. He's beaten easy though. It comes down to McGrath. McGrath puts one in, comes in, and that goes well wide of Foden, who just stands there and allows the ball to dribble wide of his goal mouth. If you just joined us, it's Kettering Town 0, Blyth Spartans 1. Goal scored by Callum Roberts, and a good goal too. Weaved his way through Kettering's defence before planting it at Paul White's near post. As I say, Blyth have been the better of the two teams so far in this contest as Fodden gets us back underway. Kennedy underneath it, trying to find O'Connor, who's being fouled there, but he does well. Gets the ball to Mills. Mills flicks it towards Meikle. Meikle turns, beats two players. Still got them round him. It comes off the number 8 Hunter, and that will be a throw in to the Poppies. Storer going to take this. A bit of pressure here from Kettering. Kennedy back to Storer, trying to find Meikle. He heads it on towards O'Connor, towards Mills. Mills flicked it through. Carter, one touch, takes a shot, and that goes high and wide again of Foden. But at least Kettering are having attempts on, well, not on target, but at least having some attempts.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction. We just need to go that further step and, as you say, start challenging Mark Foden, who hasn't really had to dive around. He's still got his burnt orange kit intact. There's not much patches of brown on it, that's for sure. So very comfortable for this afternoon.
Well, they're swapping balls at the moment, so yeah, one comes on and one comes off. Yes, a rather interesting colour kit, isn't it? Getting a bit of a talking to other Kettering fans there, and sure it's all playful and constructive criticism, I would have thought, from the Kettering fans behind the goal.
Of course, yes. They like to give some advice to the
visiting goalkeepers.
Teams,
yes,
it's free advice.
It is free advice. Yeah, no charge whatsoever. Luke Graham wins the header, but it puts it straight out. Good trap there from Mike Capps, who's taking photos. Callahan with the throw-in. It's towards Dale, but he can't get there. Storer can. Carter being held, but O'Connor wins it. Puts the ball out wide for Kelly. Kelly having to go wider than he wanted to, but he does collect the ball. He's got Scars behind him, who he uses. Scars pumps it back in towards O'Connor, who's onside. And O'Connor inside the penalty area. Still O'Connor. Tried a shot, blocked. It gets back to Scars. Scars has to play the ball back to McGrath. McGrath pumps it forward, but didn't really think about that. And that goes straight to Foden, who comes out of his penalty area. Well, he's actually in the penalty area, out his box, should I say, and delivers it towards the number 8 Hunter. But it's spooned away by Kettering. Meikle underneath it, beaten to it by Hutchinson. And it's headed back by Storer towards O'Connor. O'Connor's got Ritson with him. O'Connor is being pushed all the time. Ball's out now towards Meikle. Meikle inside the penalty area. Puts it left-footed. It goes wide. He tried to get a curl on that, but there was a definite foul on O'Connor. Referee played the advantage, and the Lyndon Meikle shot didn't do what it was intended and went wide of the post. Still not one on target yet.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure whether Lyndon was trying to put a cross in there or have a shot. In the end, it was pretty much neither. So, but again, it's another example of Kettering now started to create some possession in dangerous areas around the Blyth box. But just need to, as I say, make that extra step and get something on target and get Mr. Foden tested.
Well, 34 minutes have gone, and Callahan has to hook the ball away from the advancing Meikle. And that is another throw-in to the Poppies, and it will be Storer to take this, as my glove has fallen off. It is Storer with it, plays the long ball down to Meikle. Meikle turns, does well, gets it to Mills. Mills through to O'Connor, who's onside. No, he's not. The flag has just gone up. He was in a good position there, O'Connor. I thought he was going to get away with that and get a shot in, but the linesman flag once again goes up. The O'Connor flag. He's having a quick chat with Foden, all friendly, all smiles. I don't know if they understand each other, but Foden wiping his hands on his jersey as he takes the kick to Dale. He wins the header. McGrath pumps it back forward, but Ritson's underneath this. It's back with Dale though, and Dale hooks it forward, and that should find Paul White. It's stuck in the mud for a while, and eventually does reach Paul White. He bowls the ball out. It's McGrath on the far side running forward. Still McGrath. He's now just over the halfway line. He plays it towards Carter, who turns. He's fouled, but Ritson gets the ball, clears it towards Kelly. It comes off Kelly though, and that's cleared by Evans. Luke Graham wins that. And it is back with Ollie Stone just on the halfway line. He patches it forward to Jack Hunter. Hunter is away. He's running at Kettering, rather like the first goal and only goal. He played out wide to Roberts. It comes in, still with it. Playing well here, Roberts, the danger man, still with the ball. Left-footed, in it comes here, headed out by Luke Graham. It needed to. There's a player in there, might be a shot. Carter intercepts, and Carter gets away for the Poppies, giving O'Connor a chance. Beaten to it by Hutchinson, headed on by Storer. It's back with Jack Hunter. He plays it out wide and square to Race Evans. And Roberts fouled by Scars. And there will be a free kick on the far side. Blyth look very good, Gary, coming forward, don't they?
Yeah, Roberts does. He's the danger man. He sort of skipped past Scars again there, and Scars had to just claw him back a little bit to give the free kick away. And I'm sure at half time, Mr. Cox and Mr. Ramshaw will be talking about Mr. Roberts and Scars and how we can counteract him.
Free kick comes in, it's headed on here, back post, could be 2-0, and is. Good goal. Well, that is a shock, really. Unmarked at the back post, a slip, and they've extended the lead to 2-0. Well, if Paul Cox wants to see what Kettering could do when they're behind, now is his chance.
Another poor goal, though, for Kettering to concede, I have to say, Paul. Dead ball position, and it only got to the man on the back post because Kettering were unable to make a clearing header. It just sort of skimmed off the head of the defender, and
well, Hutchinson did the rest, didn't he? He
planted
it to well wide of Paul White. It was a good strike, and that has really given the Poppies something to think about now. 2-0 down. They haven't come back from anything like this before, and certainly after 2 wins, it's going to take a lot of resilience from Paul Cox's side. And I'm sure that he wants to see what they can do when they are behind. He's got a very, very good chance now, but Kettering need to get back into this game. This is the proverbial 6-pointer. As Mills puts the ball in, there's Ritson, chest down by O'Connor towards Carter. It finds Scars. Scars plays it out wide to Carter. Can't get there. Evans can, and it's Roberts, the danger man, once again, who gets the ball. He certainly has been impressive. He plays it long for Sweet, but there is McGrath, finds Scars. Scars to Kennedy. Kennedy slips but still has the ball. Still Kennedy being pushed out wide. It comes off the Blyth player. That should come for a throw. No, Meikle keeps it in. Meikle has got 2 round him. Right in front of us, and he plays it back to Storer. Storer towards O'Connor. Chests it down, being pressurised here, and it comes off the number 12 goal scorer Hutchinson. And that's a throw into Kettering, and Storer with it. Storer to Kennedy, but poor layoff from Kennedy allows the number 7 to plump the ball forward. That's Hawkins. There's a chance here. Paul White under pressure. Has to play it to Luke Graham. Quite cool there from Paul White. Plays it square to McGrath. He plays it out wide to Scars on the far side. Back to McGrath. Meikle wants the ball over here. He's unmarked, but too far for McGrath to see. He plays it forward, though, towards O'Connor. There's Ritson, who's won most things in the air. Kelly gets it back towards Carter. Carter beaten to it by Roberts. There's Ollie Stone. He puts the ball... Ollie Scott, sorry. He puts the ball through, but it wobbles its way to Paul White. Has come out the edge of his penalty area. He bowls it out to McGrath. He's coming forward for the Poppies. 2-0 down here at Latimer Park. Towards O'Connor. Ritson's going to leave that to go out for a Blyth throw-in, and it is. Bit of a shock to the system after 2 wins, Gary.
It is a little bit of a shock to the system, but to be fair, I think Paul and John will be seeing the Kettering Town as we saw them at the beginning of the season.
Yes.
It looks like that kind of Kettering side again today.
It does. The composure and resilience we've seen in the first 2 games of the Paul Cox seems to have disappeared a little bit at the moment. And Blyth are taking it to Kettering, and so far Blyth really punishing any mistake that Kettering make, and fully deserved to be 2-0 ahead here in Northamptonshire. If you're going to travel a long distance, it's always to come back with a win, isn't it? But as I say, another half to go yet. Anything can happen in football, as we know, as Kennedy squares it to Mills. He plays it square to Storer. Storer, heavy tackle by Storer, and Meikle goes down. And Dale will not be able to keep this in. It is Poppy's throw-in.
It's just another example, though, that Blyth are winning the personal challenges, which, the personal competition for the ball, and by doing so, they're giving themselves the platform to play this afternoon.
Tackle there by Connor Kennedy, but away goes Jack Hunter trying to find Dale. Storer comes in, headed on by Hutchinson. Back to the number 7 Hawkins. It comes off. It's right in front of us. It's a throw in to Blyth in the mud bath down here. Put some taters in there a little bit later on tonight. I think I might take. It's that deep.
Certainly no need to plough it. That's for sure.
Or some rice. But it's going to be Callahan with the throw in. It's headed on towards Storer. Dale wins that header, and it's headed on, but only towards Storer, who squares it to McGrath. McGrath plays it long towards Kelly. Kelly plays it out wide to Scars. He plays it to Milnes, but intercepted there easily by Ritson, and that is a throw-in to Kettering just inside the Blyth half on the far side. Takes it towards Kelly. Kelly turns. Kelly advancing forward, puts the ball down. Offside flag goes up straight away.
It's the Connor flag.
It's the O'Connor flag, but it wasn't O'Connor this time, I don't think.
It was.
It was, yes. I was trying to be kind. But, well, this is back to the old days, which we don't really want to see. A decent crowd in here, I think. We'll give you that attendance a little later. Fantastic support by the Blyth hordes that have made it all that distance. Must be about 4.5 hour, 5 hour journey at least. And fair play to all those Spartan fans that have come over to Northamptonshire. But that's won by McGrath towards Kelly, headed back by Hunter, but it's pumped forward for O'Connor to chase. Ritson's with it, and he allows it to bounce back, and he clears the ball towards Graham. He just lumps the ball forward, trying for offside, but Kelly only gets the ball to Ritson. Kelly wins it. There's nobody with him. He's down by the corner flag on the far side. Ball comes in off Ritson and cleared by Blyth. Things that are going right for Kettering last week, not going right this week so far, and a hopeful ball there for O'Connor. The flag is still up, and that is a goal kick. The linesman is actually running on the pitch rather than by the sideline because it's so muddy down here. But it is a goal kick. Foden taking his time to collect the ball as we're nearing to half time. 2-0 to the Spartans. So's my wife. Sure Gerald Butler will. Nothing happening so far as this goal kick seems to be taking an eternity before the half-time whistle. Many thanks to the person that brought me a pen before the game, as I lost one at Guisey last week, and obviously concerned as the ball's put forward now for O'Connor to chase, but he can't get there. Ritson just got there in time. There's Milnes, flicks it through to O'Connor. O'Connor's offside, and every time O'Connor gets the ball, you can guarantee the flag goes up. And once again, good little move from Kettering, but the flag is raised, and it gives Blyth a chance to recoil, and Foden a chance to, well, he's making a divot in the pitch. Is that allowed?
We're going to have an extra 2 minutes.
Extra 2 minutes
shortly,
before half time, yeah.
And the board comes up.
Roberts collects the ball. The danger man, it hits him rather fortunately. Still got the ball, Roberts. If he gets one in here, he does. Oh my word. What a goal. Kettering are being slaughtered. What a goal from Roberts. Well, fantastic goal.
Well, we said he's a danger man, and I think he's just underlined that with big, bold underline, because that was a cracking strike on his left foot from outside the box. If you want to be super critical, you could say, well, Kettering Town know his danger. We should have closed him down a bit sooner. But taking nothing away from the strike, because that was quality.
Quality strike, too much room given by Kettering, and Paul Cox now beginning to see the frailties of Kettering when they go behind, and he has got his work cut out in this second half to repair the damage that's been done here by a very good Blyth Spartan side, who I say are on a 4-game unbeaten run. This will be 5, as McGrath gets the ball to Graham. Long ball down to Milnes. Milnes gets the ball, passes it back to Storer, but intercepted again by Ollie Scott. It comes off Storer by Dale for a Blyth throw. They're in no rush to take it. Callahan with it now, just inside Kettering's half, trying to find Dale. Robbie Dale heads it on. Storer heads it back to Meikle. Meikle traps it back to Storer. Under a bit of pressure there. Graham has to clear the ball. He does. Only O'Connor up front. He can't get there. Carter can. Meikle, long ball, slices it. And Hutchinson plays the ball. He keeps it in there, and it comes off Scott, hooked on. Graham now under pressure here from Sweet. And Hunter loses the ball to Kennedy. Kennedy, though, aimless ball, and it's Ritson. Plays it long to McGrath. He chests it down, comes forward, plays it towards Carter, intercepted by Scott. And Kettering being slaughtered actually in this first half. 3 very impressive goals, 2 by Callum Roberts and 1 by Hutchinson. Any mistake or space given seems to be a goal. The closing down from previous weeks seems to have disappeared, and it's back to the drawing board for Paul Cox's side at the moment, as Carter gets the ball just before half time, flicks it back to Kelly. Kelly finds Scars, who pumps it forward for O'Connor, but this move doesn't seem to work too well as Hutchinson once again clears it. Then he's brought down by O'Connor, who really isn't having a particularly good game, is he, O'Connor? It's offside.
No, he's not, but he's very isolated.
He is isolated, and he needs a bit more support if Kettering are going to get anything from this game. And if they do get anything from this game, well, I'll be amazed.
Well,
is it maybe I'm amazed?
Sorry?
Maybe I'm amazed. Was that one? I'll wing that one.
You're winging it, yeah. But you'd certainly expect Kettering to make changes at half time. It wouldn't surprise me if Daniel Enty is not
and Kettering gets a free kick just before half time. Ironic cheers by the fans in the stands over there. Yes, Enty is back from suspension. We've got Richards back from a loan period. We've got Mitford and the old man Solken and Seba are the subs, but it's a free kick. Kettering desperately could do with a reply just before half time to give some hope as Scars pumps the ball in towards Kennedy. It bounces off Kennedy towards Meikle. He puts it in left-footed, cleared by Dale, only towards Milnes. Milnes plays it out wide, this time to Meikle. Do well to keep it in. He can't. He can. Did well there, did. To Storer to Kennedy. Kennedy putting the ball in, blocked, and then it blocks to a Blyth player. And there's a good chase on here between Storer and Hawkins. And there goes the whistle for half time, and a very, very disappointing first half for Kettering Town. 3-0 down. 2 classic goals from Roberts and 1 from Hutchinson on a very mud-baked afternoon, but not what Pompey's fans wanted to see, especially after 2 exciting wins. Paul Cox is going to have it all to do in the changing room at half-time to get something for the club out this, and so the players on the park. But from me and Gary, for the moment, we'll take a 15-minute break to console ourselves, and maybe, hopefully, something will happen in the second half. Well, welcome back to Latimer Park, especially if you're a Blyth Spartans fan. You're 3-0 up, and deservedly so. The Hull City loanee Roberts proving to be a real handful with 2 cracking goals that I'm sure you'll tune in to see our highlights package later in the week. And it looks like Kettering are making an instant substitution as Dan Enty is down here to stripped off, ready to come on. So Paul Cox obviously has had his say at half time. He wanted to see what Kettering are like when they were behind. He certainly's got a game on now, as they are not only behind, they're well behind, and they saying they're not at the races. The going is very, very tough here, and it's going to take an inspired performance from Paul Cox's side to get back into this game, as NT is going to become the first substitution. Can't see who's coming off. Looks like Joel Carter is not out there at the moment, so it's going to be NT for Joel Carter. And Gary Foreman is back with us after his half-time cup of tea in the boardroom. I'm sure it's very nice up there with all the gentry. And jolly ho, yes. So NT then replaces Carter. Thoughts on that one, Gary?
Well, I said I'd be surprised if Daniel Enty wasn't on at half-time, so I'm pleased to see him on. And he could have taken a few players off, I think, after that first half. Carter's the man that's come off, and you imagine that Kettering will be playing 2 up front now as a result of that.
Well, in defence of Aaron O'Connor, who I thought had quite a poor first half, he was isolated as we said, and now having Enty there with him, who we know is a workhorse, and give him a bit of assistance. But to get back in this 3 goals down will be very difficult indeed. And I have the attendance here this afternoon, which is remarkable, 810.
Yeah.
I mean, Blyth have brought, probably about 150 to be honest, which is fantastic. But 810 is straight away. There's a problem with Kettering, and Luke Graham has to hook the ball away towards Kelly. But Hunter wins it. And he only heads it, though, to Evans. Evans clears the ball. That's off Meikle to Dale. Dale gets the ball to Sweet. And McGrath couldn't keep it in. He got his legs tangled there, and it's a throw-in right down by the corner flags. Callum Roberts has gone over to take that. He's on a hat-trick, of course. And it is going to be a throw-in. And Roberts gives the ball to Evans. Evans with the throw-in. And it finds the ball to Hunter, back to Evans. And now it's Hawkins, being challenged by 2 Kettering players. Does the wall well, gets the ball through to Evans here. Ball comes in low and half cleared by Graham. Oh, it hits the post. Offside flag goes in. That's the calamity of errors there. I could hardly see it, but the ball was half cleared by Luke Graham. It fell down to Jack Hunter. His sort of miss kick really bowled along. It hit the post, and as it hits the post, the flag went up for half side. But Blyth almost increased their lead straight away after half time. Bit of a shambles there, Gary.
Yeah, it was Keystone Cops at the back, really. There, Paul. It was almost a shinner that went in, but fortunately, the post came to the rescue.
Not very often the post comes to the rescue. You can hardly get a letter these days.
Our best defender so far.
It has, hasn't it? Paul White then gets us back underway. It goes towards Meikle. He heads it on to O'Connor. O'Connor just guides the ball, but it's cleared by Blyth. That should be a throw-in to Kettering. It's Scars, who's captain for the day. Won't be enjoying this one. Trying to find O'Connor. He does. The ball was out of play, though. And it will be a throw-in to Blyth when the ball comes back. Strangely, it's a throw-in to Kettering. So
the first one didn't come in, I think.
Yeah, okay. O'Connor then miss kicks it. Away goes Roberts. Wide ball for Callahan to chase. Enty's there, but so is Storer. Storer puts the ball forward, but it goes nowhere. and Dale Roberts collects it quite easily, squares the ball, and it's Ritson, bit of space, plays a long ball for Roberts, but even he can't get that. It goes out aimlessly for a throw-in. So 810 here this afternoon. It's a good turnout. I'm sure the majority of Kettering fans won't be enjoying this, as it is not a good performance by Paul Cox's team. Scars can't find O'Connor, and Hawkins gets the ball, but it's flicked through, and Fodden has to come out. He collects it right on the edge of the penalty area as O'Connor tries to chase him down, and he goes to the other side of the goal to take the kick. It's actually the centre, delivers it. Dale Roberts wins the header, cleared by McGrath. Can't find Enty. Callahan wins it for the visitors. Back to Storer though. It's a bit like a tennis match at the moment between the two teams. High from Kennedy into the night sky, and that should go out, and does. It's gone into the school next to the club. It's been kicked back in though. It's Callahan with the throw-in on the far side, and almost by the halfway line. It is delivered, cleared by Storer. It comes off Enty and goes for another throw-in. It's just inside Kettering's half now. It's Callahan again who takes these throw-ins. Long ball down for Sweet. He heads it on, and that should go harmlessly out for the goal kick. Well, I'm not sure we've learnt nothing from today. I'm sure Paul Cox has. Interesting to speak to him after the game. If it stays like this, let's hope it doesn't. I have forecast a 3-3 draw, and then I have had a glass of wine. Certainly with balls like that from Paul White, we're not going to get very far upfield. It is a throw-in to Blyth on the halfway line. It's Callahan again. Not a lot of movement for him. It doesn't need to be. They're 3-0 up, the visitors. Dale wins the header. He's won all the headers so far. Graham clears it towards Kelly. Kelly traps it, turns, gets the ball to Meikle. Meikle comes inside, flicks the ball aimlessly to nobody, and that is back to Hawkins. And he loses the ball to Meikle. He fires it out wide to Enty. Enty's first touch of the game. Gets it to Ben Milnes. Milnes, though, being challenged by Callahan. Gets the ball to Dale. Dale to Hunter. Hunter plays it out wide. Good movement here from Blyth as they're coming forward. It is in the boggy area is Evans. Gets it back. Evans has a 1-2. Still with Evans. He finds Roberts. Roberts now on another mazy run. He beats one, beats two. Plays it out wide to Dale Roberts. There's an overlap. Dale Roberts comes inside, but Enty does well. Gets the ball back only to Ollie Scott. Ollie Scott to Roberts. He plays it out wide to Callahan, who's gone up. He plays it to Roberts, back to Callahan. There's an overlap here. It's down by the byline. In it comes low, cleared by McGrath to Lyndon Meikle, and then cleared by McGrath. There's only O'Connor up front. Hutchinson should win this, but he doesn't. O'Connor does. There's nobody with O'Connor, though. Kettering forwards trying to get up with play. It's Hutchinson and O'Connor by the corner flag on the far side, and Hutchinson wins the battle for the Spartans, and away they come with the ball. It's sliced though, and Scars heads it back. Ollie Scott gets the ball towards Hawkins. He clears it to Luke Graham. Luke Graham, and cut out there. It's going to go towards Kelly. There should be a Kettering Town throw, and it is. It's Scars with it. Wanted to take it quickly, couldn't. Does now. Gets it to Kelly. Back to Scars. He plays it back to Kennedy. Pumped forward, down by the corner flag for Kelly. He can keep it in, but Rhys Evans is there. He wins the ball, clears it for the visitors, only towards Kennedy, who did handball it. Referee hasn't given anything. And Meikle plays it out wide to Enty. Enty slips in the mud, away cleared by Callahan, but only towards Storer. He pumps the ball forward for Enty, and that's too heavy and goes out for a goal kick as Gary Foreman thrusts the microphone towards his head.
Yeah, it's a simple ball, but poorly executed, I'm afraid, from Gary Storer, but he's not been the only one in terms of passing quality today. They've been shown how to do it by Blyth in difficult conditions.
Well, it's a Jekyll and Hyde performance, isn't it? We've had the 2 good performances, and this has gone back really to what we've been witnessing most of the season. I know conditions don't help, but it's same for both sides. Can't blame that, and I'm not blaming the conditions. Blyth have adapted really well, and they have played some good football, especially Roberts' finishing has been supreme. Cleared by Ollie Scott. There's any sweet up front. I see what you mean. Sorry about that. Just watching the open air entertainment be in front of us. But it is a free kick, and it's going to be Fodden to take this. It's at centre of his own half. He's on his own. Everybody in Kettering's half virtually. Well, they are now. 3-0 to Blyth. Fodden delivers out wide, won by Dale, flicked through to Evans. Good 1-2 here, and Blyth on the attack again. There's 22 in the middle. There's dangerous man. It is Roberts there, but it's cleared by Luke Graham. He fires the ball to O'Connor. He traps it, does well, gets the ball, went. It's blocked, fouled, nothing given. Played out wide to Roberts. Roberts is outside the penalty area. He's got Scars in front of him. He's rotated him twice. He's going to be the third time. Out comes Roberts again. 1-2. Dummies fires in there. Back post should have been 4. And if only Sweet could have got a touch on it, that would have been 4-0. He fell down there right at the vital time on the line. Any touch and that would have been 4-0. But again, Roberts turning Scars inside out, and it's painful to watch if you're a Kettering fan.
Yeah, he just doesn't cope with him this afternoon. Roberts has been far too good for Joe Scars, and to be fair though, Kettering is still saying to Joe Scars, well, you've got to deal with him one-on-one. He's got no extra support on him all afternoon, and we paid the price more than once as a result of that.
O'Connor plays a long ball down for Kelly to chase, but he doesn't get anywhere. Enty does though. Enty coming inside, flicked on here. Enty now coming through, might be a chance, and referee's given a foul the other way as Enty plants the ball in the net, much to the displeasure of the Kettering fans. And it looks like that Enty's going to get booked for putting the ball into the net. Well, he's having a word with the referee, and it is a free kick to Blyth. Nothing going right for Kettering Town. It was a good move and a good finish, and the cries of the referee is something that we can't really mention. Don't think it should be called that personally, but it's not going Kettering Town's way.
No, it's not. We'll give the referee the benefit of the doubt though. He was closer to the situation than us. But we need a spark, whether it's going to come from NT or somebody else. If Kettering are going to get anything out of this game, we need a spark pretty quick.
Well, Callahan has just played the ball out for a Kettering Town throw on the far side. Storer is moving up to take it. It's leaving it for Connor Kennedy, which will mean it will be a longish throw. Referee telling Kennedy to go back 2 inches to get to the exact spot. But he is not that consistent when it comes to throw-ins for the opposition. But Kennedy takes this long throw, and it comes in. It's headed on as a rebound. It comes to Storer. He flicks it back to O'Connor, who's onside. Out comes Foden and does very well. Clears the ball, delivers it straight towards Roberts. Roberts traps it. He's got Milnes in front of him. Roberts beats Milnes. Scars in front of him. Good tackle by Ben Milnes and Robin Roberts. But he gives the ball straight away to Evans. It's back with Roberts. Roberts takes a touch. And it's still in and comes off a Blyth player, and it is a Kettering throw. It came off Roberts, in fact, and another throw into Kettering Town, who are being well marshalled this afternoon. A heavy defeat on the cards at the moment. But my 3-3 draw looks a bit ominous at the moment as Ben Milnes puts it back to Scars, who try to find O'Connor. Ritson gets it, and am I going to get the ball? Almost, Ed, where are you? The ball's almost in here with us. As Scars leaves the ball to Kennedy. He trying to find O'Connor. He's onside, rarity. And he gets the ball back to Kelly. Kelly's in there with Enty back header, and that goes wide. Foden comes out, collects it right on the wide angle of the penalty area. Calmly, coolly and collectively bounces the ball and it bounces back up, so it can't be that mushy over there.
No,
So
that's the firm half of the pitch.
that's the firm
over
half,
that side
is it?
of the
I'm glad there's one half of it that's firm. The rest of it looks like a bit of a quagmire.
mushy quarter is the near quarter down to our left. The rest of it's holding up pretty well.
Milnes find Kelly. Now Kelly is away. He's going out wide as Jack Hunter trying to keep up with him. Evans comes over as well, but still Kelly puts the ball in. Nobody there. And Ritson does the easy job of getting rid of it. Oh, he makes hard work of that, actually, and he's given away a corner. Much to the pleasure of the Tin Hat, who are packed behind that goal, trying to get Kettering back underway. And the referee wants a word with O'Connor.
I think O'Connor was talking to the referee, shall we say. I think it's just said, cut it out.
Well, there's only a few words by the referee to O'Connor. No booking. No booking in the game so far. Again, a rarity, as it's going to be Milnes to take this. In it comes, back post. There's... and the referee stopped, halted play, and corner's going to be retaken. Not sure what's happened there.
I think the referee said only play it in once I blow my whistle, and Ben Milnes jumped the gun.
And it comes in now, back post. There's Fodden, punches out. O'Connor's there, flicks it in. It's a goal! 3-1, and that is McGrath, who's got the ball back. And the referee's blown his whistle. Not sure what's happening here. It's been given. 3-1, yep. McGrath.
Well, I'm glad we did have to take the free kick again. There's going to be a yellow card for a Kettering player, I think. Tussling with Foden in there. It was Connor Kennedy who's going to get a yellow card. Kennedy for tangling with Foden in the net to get the ball back quickly. So a yellow card, a fairly needy little one, but Kettering do have a lifeline.
Yep, lifeline, and still plenty of time to get back into this. If they needed a tail up, then there we go. So 3-1, Kettering back in it to a certain extent. Another goal now would make it interesting. Scar's misplaced header goes out for a Blyth throw-in, and it's going to be Evans to take this. Good response there from Kettering from that twice taken corner. Evans with the throw-in. Well, eventually, if he takes it, he does. Finds Hunter, back to Evans. He plays it out wide. It might go out for a goal kick. It won't go out for a goal kick. It's been shielded by McGrath and does go out for a goal kick. Paul White with it as the cries of Red Army from the Tin Hat is ringing around Latimer Park. Paul White not happy with where it's been taken from. He's gone to the other side of his 6-yard box where it's less squelchier. Getting a bit of a telling off by the Blyth fans behind the goal for doing so as White delivers it. Long ball, Dale and then empty underneath it this time. Dale doesn't win it. Callahan does, but gives it to Sweet. Misplaced here there by him. Sweet again heads the ball on. Hutchinson's underneath it. Cleared back to Hutchinson. Flicks it through to Roberts. There, Scars, though, loses out to Roberts once again. Roberts comes inside the penalty area. Roberts, the danger man, comes one way, goes the other. Intercepted, though, this time by McGrath. He plays it out wide to Kelly. Kelly, long ball, but to no one. And Ritson gets the ball only towards Milnes. And then fouls Milnes. Nothing given by the referee. Ritson plays the ball to Paul White. Kelly says to the referee, that must be a foul. Nothing given. Paul Cox not happy with the referee. I shan't say what he said, but you can imagine. Ball back with McGrath, takes a heavy touch, gets it through, but only towards Roberts, who then is manhandled. And a foul by Kennedy, a late leg on Roberts, who is the danger man. Take him out the Blyth side, and it's a very average Blyth side, but they've played well. I'm not going to say they haven't played well, but Roberts is the difference.
Oh yeah, he's the difference maker that we've not been able to handle first half, and well, we've not been able to handle the second half either. So he's certainly the danger man whenever he's on the ball, and he's on the ball now for this free kick. Fortunately for Kettering, it's 20 yards inside their half, so it's going to be a long free kick. In fact, he's going to leave it now for somebody else to trot around. Hunter, it's going to be.
Well, it's Jack Hunter with this free kick. Only Ben Milnes making attempted wall. Taking the time, get on with it is the cry, and Hunter puts the ball in. Headed out or kicked out by Luke Graham. It goes wide to Enty. He'll do well to get this. He doesn't. He's fouled in the process. Nothing given by the referee. It goes to Dale. Dale back to Ollie Scott. He pumps the ball in, a flick through. McGrath does well to defeat Lewis Hawkins' attempt. Long ball by him, aimlessly put into the Blyth half. Nothing happening there, and then headed there by Meikle. And the slide tackle. Scars gets the ball towards O'Connor, though. He only heads it to a Blyth player. It's back with Roberts in the Kettering half. He beats Scars easily. Goes down the byline. He's racing away as Roberts comes inside. Good tackle, though, by Meikle, and unfortunately comes off his shin and goes for a corner on the right-hand side. Roberts once again causing all sorts of problems for the Kettering defence. And every time he gets the ball, who knows what is going to happen. But it is a corner, and Roberts, the danger man, will take this corner, as he seems to have done all afternoon for the Spartans, and so is my wife. It's back to Dale, back to Roberts, in-footed there, headed out there by McGrath, and a good header for another corner. If he'd have missed that, there were 3 Blyth players ready to come in at the back post to put in the back of the net. Kettering about to bring another substitute on, I think.
Michael Richards is going to get his return chance.
Yeah, Michael Richards returned from Nuneaton Borough yesterday, and it looks like he's going to get a start, not a start, but a starring role, let's hope, for the Poppers. Paul Cox's first view of Richards in action. It's a corner on the far side to Blyth. It comes in low, headed out by Scars to Mills. He plays it out wide towards O'Connor, but O'Callaghan gets there first, but Meikle robs him. Put the ball back to McGrath. He slices the ball, though, and it spins to Meikle, who has to play the ball back to McGrath. He finds Scars. He plays left-footed. It comes off Roberts, and Roberts now collects the ball. It's not Roberts, sorry. It's Hunter. He's going forward, being tackled by Mills. Still, they're pushing at his shirt. Still Hunter going right down to the corner flag. There's 2 Kettering players round him. Gets the ball through, and only goes to McGrath, who then chips it towards O'Connor. It falls down in the mud. Evans gets the ball back to Hutchinson. He plays it forward. Mills intercepts, then goes down and is fouled. That was and then kicked away by Lewis Hawkins. That should be a booking, but referee having none of it. And Michael Richards about to come back into the action from his loan period at Nuneaton Borough.
Yep, it's going to be the return of Michael Richards to a Poppers shirt. And I think it's going to be Joe Scars, who's had a torrid time at left back. He's been roasted well and truly by Mr. Roberts of Blyth Spartans. Not his day today. And sometimes you just have to admit it's the quality of your opponent. But Richards will slot into a midfield. It's going to be. I think Kelly must be going back to left back.
Yeah, it'll be Kelly down there now, won't it? And as you say, torrid time that he had Scars as the free kick is taken by McGrath. It goes high towards Enty. Enty wins the header, gets the ball forward towards O'Connor. O'Connor can't get there though, and it is a corner. Does well at O'Connor there, plays it on to the Blyth defender, and it goes out for a corner on the far side. And Kettering Town score most of their goals in the Tin Hat end. They've already got 1 this afternoon. Blyth though got 3, and it makes a bit of difference. But another goal here now should make the last quarter of this game very exciting indeed for the neutral, and it will be a corner. It's not been taken yet. It's Kelly with the corner, and it's not Kelly. I can't see. It's Milnes with the corner. It comes in towards the near post, headed on by Enty. Back post. It's a goal. Yes! There we go. Luke Graham. Wow, that's a great finish there. Luke Graham gets a rare goal. 3-2. Kettering back in it now. Wow.
Well, from nowhere, we've got a great chance now, Paul.
Well, Luke Graham scored 2 goals against Stratford Town in the League Cup match, but he hasn't scored for Kettering since AFC Telford all those years ago in the Championship season. And what a timely goal that was from the Academy director.
2 set pieces, 2 headers. Luke Graham on the back post, ghosting in, climbing above his man. A header from about a yard, I reckon. In it goes. And, well, we've been outplayed all afternoon. But it's now 3-2.
3-2, anything can happen here. My 3-3 forecast at half-time looks quite good now. But it is Richards with his first touch, gets it to Storer. He finds Enty. Enty back to O'Connor's now on a chase here. He's got nobody with him though. There's Enty coming forward still. O'Connor goes one way, goes the other. Still O'Connor comes through there, cleared by Blyth Spartans. It's all at their end now. The fans going berserk in the tin hat end. They sense a draw might be on the cards. An untimely draw it would be. An unlikely draw, shall I say, at half time. But 2 goals back by set pieces. And Kettering are back in again. They probably don't deserve in the first half to be anywhere near. It's going to be a long throw by Kennedy. He's getting the ball into the area now. It comes in, flicked on. It's a corner to Kettering. Now this will be sort of squeaky bum time for all the Blyth players and fans as the last 2 set pieces Kettering have scored. Can it be a hat-trick?
Let's hope so. The quality from the last 2 corners was excellent. So that's going to be the first part. Get a decent corner in. Put the pressure on Blyth. They're beginning to rock a little bit.
It is, and it's Ben Mills, the creator of the second goal. I think it's Ben Mills. No, it's not Ben Mills. I can't see who that is. It's this time it is Kelly. Comes in, right-footed there, right down there. It's headed out, and this time it's cleared. It's away to Danger Man Roberts, who's now got Richards in front of him. Richards, he glides by Richards. There's an overlap. Away comes Meikle. It's still Roberts. He's all the way through here. Roberts. Still Roberts. Still Roberts. Blocked. Still Roberts. Flicks the ball through. What a goal. Wow, that was fantastic by Roberts. Eat your heart out, Maradona. Eat your heart out, Messi. That was an absolute classic.
Well. Roberts, you have to say, is just roasting us at the moment.
He was the only Blyth player in Kettering's half. He ran through 2 or 3 challenges. They got a block in. Even with the block, it went back to him. He lobbed 2 Kettering players in goalkeeper. A wonderful goal and thoroughly deserved hat-trick for the best player on the park. That is for sure, especially with Kettering's tails up after getting back. It now looks like my 3-3 draw won't happen. And it looks like Blyth are going to probably go on and win an exciting 6-game thriller here at Latimer Park.
First shot was saved. He just had the presence of mind, though, to lift the ball. But Kettering are on a go here, actually, themselves. But Kennedy's blocked out near the penalty area. But, yeah, you have to say, I mean, Callum Roberts, I mean, if the scout's about, he's going to be gone, surely. He's too good for this league.
On this performance, certainly, he's been outstanding as the ball is put forward towards Kennedy. Can't keep it in. It's a corner to Kettering and... how they need to get a goal back, especially after that sensational Roberts goal. You'll see all these goals on our highlights package. So far, 6 so far to look and admire. Of course, we can't put them on straight away, as we're not allowed by the Vanarama to do that, but we'll do it as soon as we can. And all the goals have been pretty special, especially the 4 from Blyth. But it is a corner again to Kettering where the 2 goals have been scored from. In it comes now towards the back post. Foden drops it, cuts it there, and he gets it on the line. And second chance he gets it. He's making a bit of a meal of getting the ball up. He's getting some advice from the Kettering fans behind the goal. Time is running on. We will hope to be speaking to Paul Cox a little later, which you'll see on our highlights package. Still plenty of time though in this second half as Meikle wins the header, gets the ball to Mills. Mills flicks the ball forward. O'Connor won't get this as Ritson is going to get there first. He puts it, the ball's gone down to Isham, I think, with the power on that one. New ball required. Kelly running down there with it, gets the ball to Connor Kennedy. Another long throw in to come in then. Blyth have sort of panicked when it's been in the penalty area a few times. Let's hope that they can panic again and make this a 7-goal thriller. So far it comes in now. Back post, there's O'Graham. Missed it completely. That would have been a touch and that would have been a Kettering goal. And it's run out for it's O'Connor who's missed an absolute sitter on the line. and it rolls out for a goal kick.
Yeah, Foden was flapping again. That's 2 he's got away with, but get away with it he did. Couldn't find a touch on the line or close to the line to get it in.
Still around 20 minutes or so to go of this second half. Plenty of time to see some more goals as Kettering's midfield is warming up. Ball back in play. Dale can't control it. It goes out for a Kettering throw-in. The pitch now looking a bit like Ypres and the Somme, and it certainly has been a battle out there in the first 75 minutes or so of this game. It's a throw to Kettering on the far side. It comes in towards Enty. Enty loses out though. Cleared by Ollie Scott, only towards Luke Graham. He gets the ball back. Hunter falls down with the ball. Cleared again by Scott. Headed back by Milnes. It's a bit of a panic station. It's very scrappy at the moment as Blyth just hooked the ball out for a throw-in. And it's going to be Storer by the halfway line on the far side to get us back underway. He does, trying to find Enty. Enty flicks the ball on to O'Connor. O'Connor struggling, gets a lovely little flick through to Enty. 2 Kettering players in there. There's Mills. Mills comes in there. Must be a goal. It is! It's a goal! Kelly gets the goal at the back post unmarked. It's 4-3. What a 7-game thriller. Wow, this is fantastic stuff.
Well, we're certainly making a good shout the second half. We certainly made a game of it. But that was Kettering's first goal from open play. It was a good run on the right, good cross. Milnes just couldn't get his foot on it. But Lyndon Meikle on the back post certainly could in the bottom corner.
Well, it's all happening here. 810 people watching an absolute thriller. Kettering come back from 3-0 down to 3-2, 4-2, then 4-3, and Enty now underneath this one. It was his ball, he's being fouled, and the referee's giving it the other way, and unbelievable. Linesman there getting a bit of stick from the Kettering Town fans, and rightly so. That was very unjust.
Yeah, I couldn't see it. I thought it was the other way, but...
well, you would.
A bit honest opinion.
Mine's honest.
But Tin out of singing again. They believe that they can still get something out of this game, and
well, there's plenty of time for that. And Blyth, it looks like they're going to make a substitution. Another powerhouse coming on here, and it is a free kick. Foden takes the kick towards Luke Graham. He heads it on towards Kennedy. Kennedy to Enty. Enty's hustled off the ball by Callaghan, but his ball goes aimlessly anywhere. And Blyth begins to look a bit like Kettering in the first half. Nothing particularly going right for them. It's Levi Amanchi who is coming 15. On, and number 15, another tall player. Don't know much about Levi, but he's going to be coming on, but not yet. The board was up, but nothing happened as Blyth hoofed the ball out towards Storer. He gets it big, puts the ball out. Now they'll be able to make the substitution, and it is Levi Amanchi. He's coming on, and it is Michael Sweet coming off for the visitors. 3-4 here at Latimer Park.
Well, the game certainly hasn't filtered away as I feared it might at half-time into a bit of a non-event. Fair play for Kettering to making a fight of it. And we've still got time.
Indeed, we have.
Especially if we can keep Callum Roberts off the ball.
Yes, keep Roberts off the ball and create a few more melees in that penalty area, and who knows. But Roberts definitely is the man that Kettering have got to watch. And his third goal was sensational, which his hat-trick goal was sensational, which you will see later. But it is a Blyth thrown on the far side, headed back or kicked out by Story. He's pumped it forward towards Meikle, but it goes out of play. And it will be another throw-in to Blyth. Still plenty of time for the Poppies Persuasion to get back into this game. And the Blythers, who've been very, very noisy, and rightly so, have quietened down a little bit. But they are still ahead in this exciting game. And fair play to them for all the travelling. They've been watching a super game. And Blyth now time wasting and need to be stopping that as ball comes in. Manchi gets his first touch. It only reached Luke Graham. He pumps the ball forward and away comes O'Connor. cups the ball in, it comes out, it missed there, and there it is. Oh, it's blocked. Meikle had a chance to equalise, and somehow the defender got a foot to it, stopped it from going in when a goal seemed certain, and then it's cleared by Blyth for a throw-in. It's a bit of a slip, a bit of a sludge, and I thought that was 4-4. Meikle was surprised. The defender, I think it was Evans, an exceptional block.
It was an exceptional block. I mean, it was the goalie was out of it. He was floundering again. And,
Floundering
yes,
Fodden.
Meikle just had a touch, but good defending.
Well, Evans is going to see this one going out for a goal kick, which he does, despite the interest from the Kettering player trying to hurry him up, and it was Kennedy. Very exciting here at Latimer Park. It's Kettering Town 3, Blyth 4. You listen to Poppy's TV audio with Gary Foreman, Paul Cook, sponsored by Elgood's Brewery, your local brewery from Cambridgeshire, from Wisbech. And
Yes, so they do lovely ales too.
Lovely ales too, which are available in the clubhouse before and after the game. As Fodden gets the ball out to Dale, he misses the header this time. It's Connor Kennedy, but it's back into Kettering's half. Flicked on to Richards. Richards flicks the ball to Enty on the far side. It's not Enty, it is Enty, but he loses it. Dale gets the ball to Amanchi. He turns and gets it through back to Amanchi. It's out wide. Hopefully we'll see this one go. It comes off Amanchi, and that's a goal kick. Kettering going to make their final substitution, and it is young Trey Mitford, who's going to be brought into the melee. Could he be a hero and get his first goal, at least equalise for the Poppers, or get two and win 5-4?
I'll settle for one. I'm not a greedy man.
I am, and I'll settle for two, but I'll settle for one at the moment, as you say, as O'Connor misses the header. It's back to Kennedy, flicks it forward to Meikle. Meikle got Evans in front of him, loses the ball though. Roberts, he's not going to dribble his way through here, is he? No, he gets the ball back to Richards. Richards takes his time, pumps it forward, a pull ball from Richards, and it's stopped in the mud though. The Blyth player has to play it. Goalkeeper didn't come anywhere, and he's getting a bit of a verbal from Rhys Evans as Kettering now get a throw in the right half, the right part of the ground. Mitford not yet coming on. The Kettering Town fans behind that goal beginning to find their voice once again. Are they going to see a fourth goal, an equalising goal for the mighty Reds? It's excitement time as Kennedy puts the ball in, flicked on here. It goes anywhere. Meikle can't get there. It's out to Richards, who gets the ball back in, not offside. McGrath, nosebleed time for him. Still McGrath gets the ball, comes forward. It's going to be cleared though by Blyth quite easily and is hooked away. Only Manchi up front. Storer heads the ball back to Paul White, who's urged to get the ball back. He's been shattered up by Paul Cox for not getting the ball into the Blyth half. He rolled it out instead, but it's come through to McGrath. It's gone out for a throw in on the far side. Mitford about to make his entry into this climatic game. The linesman just thrown the flag at Mitford in the face.
Mills running off.
And it's Ben Mills coming off. Sprinting off is Millsy. Last throw of the dice for Kettering then with the substitutions. It's going to be a long throw. Mitford, tall, powerful. He'd be a hero if he could get something on and steer the ball into the Blyth net. And it is going to be a throw, and it's Connor Kennedy with the long throw. It comes in near post. It cleared out though. Ollie Stone gets the ball back to Kennedy. Kennedy 1-2 with himself. Still Kennedy needs to get the ball in. It comes off a Blyth player. And Richards can't get there. Away comes Amanchi now for the visitors. There's nobody in the Kettering half. He's floundering around with it. And away comes Ollie Scott on the far side. Roberts here is unmarked at the back of Kettering's half. Kettering plugging away, trying to get Stone. Stone beats one, beats two, beats three. He's then blocked. And there's a foul on the far side. A bit of breathing space for the Spartans.
Paul's heading down to the studio, so I will be taking you through the final moments of this game, which has burst into exciting life for as far as Kettering is concerned this second half. 3-4 though, they still need something else to grab an unlikely point this afternoon as Blyth are making their final substitution. It's number 14 who's coming on, Damon Mullen. And the player coming off is taking his time, as you can imagine. It's number 7 who's come off for Blyth. That's Lewis Hawkins. Linda Meikle has been given the man of the match from the Puppies sponsors this afternoon. So Blyth, free kick deep inside Kettering half. They take it short and head towards the corner flag. And Enty's over there with the challenge, which has led to a throw-in. Blyth in no hurry to take the throw, but it comes in now to Robbie Dale holding it up and heading as well for the corner flag, but Storer nips in and manages to get it off him. Clears long towards the halfway line, but Blyth come forward again, but given the ball away to Michael Richards. Richards looking long for, it's a long chase for Meikle, and it bowls all the way through to Mark Foden in goal. Foden gathers the ball up, moves to the centre of the area in no hurry to clear, but now does into the night sky here at Latimer Park, looking for Dale, flicks off Dale's head, and Kettering managed to keep it in. Storer clears long, looking for Enty onto O'Connor forward to looking for Enty again, but Hutchinson is there with the interception, but Kettering has still got the ball. In fact, it's a throw-in, which O'Connor thinks about taking, but then leaves it for Conor Kennedy, the long throw specialist. Up go the centre halves for Kettering. Looking for a bit of late glory. Kennedy throws it in, headed on by O'Connor. O'Connor trying to get onto the flick on, but unfortunately he loses out to the right back, Rhys Evans, who clears long. And Richards and Storer are under pressure here from the substitute, Amanchi, but they deal with it and clear it long. A bit of head tennis at the moment going on in the centre circle, and it's hacked forward by Blyth to Amanchi, but again Richards is there. Oh, that's a nasty challenge there. I think that'll be a yellow card from the substitute, whose first contribution, number 14, Damon Mullen. Late challenge on Conor Kennedy, and he's going straight into the referee's book. And Kettering will have the opportunity, seeing as Kennedy's back on his feet, which he is now gingerly, for Paul White to thump the long ball forward. Try and put the Blyth defence under the pressure in these final minutes here at Latimer Park. White then kicks the ball forward long, half headed away, and the left back now clears fully for Blyth. So Kettering throw on that far side. Gary Storer rushes across to take it, and then throws the ball to Conor Kennedy for another long throw. Centre halves all forward, everybody in Blyth's half. Throw taken, half cleared at the edge of the box, bit of head tennis on the edge of the penalty box. McGrath cuts it in, and it's the flags up. Mitford was in with a glorious chance. Sort of missed his kick, but to be fair, the linesman flag had already gone up. Almost again for Kettering. And Mark Foden will take the free kick in his penalty box. Clears it over the halfway line, headed on by Robbie Dale towards Amanchi. Amanchi is coming through on his left foot on the far side, crosses the ball in and sliced. Luke Graham, I think, yes. No, McGrath who sliced it. Sliced it wide for a corner to Blyth. And of course they're in no hurry to take it. I'm keeping my eye down here on Mount Lure and the board as to how many extra minutes we're going to get this afternoon. But the board's not gone up yet. Blyth have the corner and they're now taking it short. Dale back to Roberts in the far corner, taking it again back into the corner area, trying to eke a few more minutes out, but he gives the foul away to Kettering Town, which Paul White will scurry across to get the ball. He'll need to go long quickly. And Paul White clears now over the halfway line. Kettering looking to get onto it, but it's a Blyth defence that holding at the moment are being resolute. Kelly plays it long to working for Linda Meikle, but that ball is going to skip out for a throw in deep inside the Blyth half. As you would expect, the Kettering fans are trying to encourage the players, trying to find a spark, a last effort to gain something out this game, which will be an unlikely point if they were to get one today. Balls with Luke Graham. Graham pumps it forward, flicked on by Lyndon Meikle towards Trey Mitford, but away by Lewis Risson, out for a throw-in. Connor Kennedy runs across. He's going to be launching another long throw into the box, where most of the players are now gathered. Half cleared, comes through to Enty. Enty puts the cross into the first, and it's gone in! It's gone in! It's Mitford! Trey Mitford has scored his first goal for Kettering Town in the last minute of normal play, and the Poppies, out of nothing after half time, have come back, and it's now Kettering 4, Blyth 4. A scrappy goal, but the Kettering fans won't care about that. Trey Mitford from a couple of yards out after another throw, a long throw from Connor Kennedy. Incredible scenes here at Latimer Park, and we've still got 4 minutes to play. The board is up, 4 extra minutes to play. Well, Kettering were dead and buried at half time. I didn't think they could come back. Mr. Cook said we could still draw this 3-all. Well, we might draw it 4-all, but this is an incredible fight back. And let's face it, it's not been a good performance from Kettering, but the effort and endeavour they put in this afternoon in the second half just goes to show you, you never give up. You never give up in this game, and sometimes you just get a reward at the end of it. It's a goal kick to Blyth. Foden now in a little bit more of a hurry to take it on the far side. Clears the ball long over the halfway line. Robbie Dale with a flick on, and again from Amanchi now picks it up, and Kettering are in trouble, but good interception by Marcus Kelly now sprinting ahead, but intercepted by Blyth, and it goes long again towards the danger man Roberts, but he's crowded out this time, and Connor Kennedy is able to clear long, and Daniel Enty on that far side is going to pick this one up. Enty against the left back, shaping him up, taking him on the right, beats it for pace. Is that a penalty? No, it's not, according to the referee, but it looked a good shout from where we were. The left back's arms were on Daniel Enty. He might have dodged a bullet there. Ball goes long again from Kettering, headed away from the Blyth defence. Kennedy's up there. He's had a very good second half for Kettering Town. And the ball is out, and that's going to be a throw into Kettering. Lyndon Meikle just inside the Blyth half. And it's going to be Kennedy again. We're going to play the scene again, hopefully with the same result. It's going to be a long throw in Forward go Luke Graham and Michael McGrath, the centre halves, and here comes the long throw in into the Blyth box. Flicked on again by McGrath. The ball's bouncing around dangerously in the penalty box, and we just can't get a shot on it. And Blyth hurriedly clear it long. And that's going to be a throw into Kettering, but this time just inside their half. It's going to be another long one, even though it's in their own half. Kennedy launches it forward again, down the byline this time. And again, another throw into Kettering. This one's in a better position for Kennedy to get another long throw in. Poppy's piling the pressure on Blyth. Is there going to be even more late drama here at Latimer Park? We'll see. Conor Kennedy clears the ball off, launches it long into the penalty box. This time it's headed half clear, but only as far as Kelly, but then can't get his control under. And it's bouncing around. It's offside actually for Kettering, so it's going to be a free kick to Blyth, and I think Aaron O'Connor is going to go into the book as well for a late challenge. Well, it's not very often that we get a team coming to Latimer Park where one of their players scores a hat-trick and they don't end up on the winning side. As it stands, that's going to be the case this afternoon. Foden, though, clears long from the free kick. Luke Graham ducks under it and he's going to allow the ball to go out, which he does, and that's full-time. The full-time whistle has gone, and the Kettering faithful are giving the Poppies fans, Poppies players, a big hand for that second half performance, because really they've come out of nothing. I'd have to say, on the balance of play, the quality of play, Blyth Spartans were the better side today. They certainly had the outstanding individual in Callum Roberts. But never say die attitude from Poppies. I'm sure Paul Cox would have learned a lot of things. Some of the things he's seen today he won't have enjoyed, but he would have admired the endeavour and the fortitude of the Kettering players to never give up in that second half and to rescue an unlikely point with a debut goal by Trey Mitford in the 90th minute. So from a very muddy but rocking Latimer Park this afternoon, it's Kettering Town 4, Blyth Spartans 4.